Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and our guest today is Laurel Bloomfield. She's the co-founder and vice president of Pocket Innerwear. Yes, we're talking about underwear today, so you don't want to miss this episode. Laurel, welcome to the show. We're thrilled to have you.
Welcome to Your Mark on the World, bringing you another changemaker with champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
Thank you, Devin. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, we're excited to be able to talk to you today about your special underwear. You know, I have a lot of family members who have diabetes, including my wife and son, and so I'm excited to talk about special underwear for diabetics. I am sure that most diabetics still don't know that there is special underwear, and no one who isn't a diabetic probably can imagine why a diabetic would want special underwear. But you better explain this.
Yes.
What's the deal, Laurel?
So true. There are a lot of diabetics that don't know that there is a company out there that really focuses on them and their needs and making their lives easier. And then for people who don't know about what goes into the care of a diabetic, they have an awful lot of devices and medical pieces that they have to carry with them at all times so that they can monitor their blood glucose levels. The best option for care currently available is an insulin pump to manage your diabetes, and that pump, after the life-sustaining questions are all answered and that system is in place, the number one question is, where am I going to put this thing? So we who don't have diabetes are constantly connected to devices as well, but our lives don't depend on it, and diabetics' lives do. So our product has a specially designed pocket in underwear and layering pieces. So we have tops and bottoms and leggings, all available with pockets specifically designed for an insulin pump, but they also work great for a continuous glucose monitor, a PDM. We have some new technology where the iPhone is actually communicating with the Dexcom, which is the continuous glucose monitor, and sending that reading back, but that PDM has to be close to on person, so we have pockets for that. And that can also in these, PDM communicates with the Omnipod, which doses the insulin itself. I don't know if you know about Omnipods, but they are not a pump. They are, the infusion site is on the person the same with a pump, but then the insulin is in that PDM, and then it doses itself, where the pump you have to dose.
Yeah.
So, really interesting. And it seems like the technology, the way that technology is of course rapidly, exponentially changing and getting better, and new solutions are coming out. But anyways, there's just a lot of devices that these diabetics, people with diabetes, can use to get the best care available. So we are proud to send a little 5-year-old off to school with their pump securely tucked in their Pocket Innerwear t-shirt or their Pocket Innerwear undies, and they can flip upside down on the monkey bars, and their pump's not going anywhere, and their tubing is tucked in so it's not ripping out on the school chairs when they run into recess, and it gives them just a little bit of freedom. And we serve from a toddler to as long as a person with diabetes can live, and hopefully that continues to get longer and longer.
Now, I didn't even know this until recently, but it turns out that a lot of women's clothing doesn't have pockets.
Right.
And so almost all women are kind of at a disadvantage for finding a place to put all these devices.
Yes.
So are most of your purchasers women?
We do about 50-50. Our number one seller is actually our men's pump pocket underwear. And they order in much bigger quantities. It's very interesting. And we get a lot of athletic customers who are, using that for their workout, where they used to stuff their pump in just their gym shorts, but I had people say that they, pinned a Ziploc bag in their gym shorts or a sock to hold the pump, but now they can just throw these on and throw their gym shorts over it and work out. So that is actually our #1 seller right now. We do make pockets that can fit cell phones, and so women in general, the fashion trends are, maxi skirts, leggings, tight skinny jeans, and less pockets. So we're still pretty tied to our big purses or putting our cell phone in our skinny jean pocket where it falls out, gets damaged, lose it easier. So yeah, definitely at a disadvantage for pockets. But on the person with diabetic market, we really see a split 50-50. Our #1 customer is a mom of a diabetic. They come and shop for their kids of any age. They find our products, and we have moms call us in tears saying that they've been looking for this since their baby was diagnosed, and that baby might be 27 now, and she's sending him, 10 packs of underwear. So it's pretty fun to have that connection with other moms who just really, you always want to find a solution to make your child's life a little bit better and safer, and then especially the parent of a diabetic who just is constantly dealing with how do I keep this child alive, which is what all new mothers and fathers feel. I think as soon as that baby comes into the world is, how am I going to keep this baby alive?
Yeah.
And we do it, but having the complication of diabetes on top of that is an extraordinary burden.
What is the connection to diabetes?
So thankfully, I do not have a child with diabetes, and the more and more I get exposed to this community, the more grateful I am for his health. He has some other special needs, but not, thankfully, life-threatening. And we actually developed this pocket. Our initial design that we filed a patent for was just a secure pocket to put a device. And we were brainstorming what devices besides just cell phones need to go in this pocket, and medical devices came up. And then actually I have a friend here in town who has a little baby who was diagnosed at 10 months with type 1 diabetes, and he just had the flu, and that flu turned into a coma, flight for life to the children's hospital, and it was just really stressful. They put him on a pump as soon as they got him regulated and out of that coma, and that was the question, is where am I going to put this on a little baby who is just learning to walk and crawl and things like that? And that question just carries through, like, where am I going to put this thing? But I need this pump to manage this care the best. And so really our inspiration is other diabetics in the community, but we have, as we were writing that patent was right around that time that my friend's son was diagnosed, and it just really felt like a aha moment of, this is a really significant pain point that our product, our pocket design can solve, and we just really wanted to run with that opportunity to serve a community that could use just this little simple solution.
Yeah, fascinating. Well, it's amazing work that you're doing, and tell us a little bit about how it's going. How big is the business, and how's it growing?
It's growing great, and in all fairness, we were stay-at-home moms that started this with kind of in that generation of, we got computer training in high school-ish, but we're not super technologically savvy, so there's been this huge J-curve learning curve for us. And we've really put ourselves out there in the community, and we know what we have based on the feedback we get. And our business is growing double year over year, and it's really starting to take off now. We're doing a test launch in Walmart pharmacies, and I actually had a meeting with Target.com buyer, and yesterday we're gonna launch on Target online first quarter of next year. So there's some really huge wins that we're getting. And I think what's really fun about this is with my meeting with the Target buyer yesterday, she actually admitted to that their diabetes section really doesn't serve the type 1. It's really catered to the type 2. And there are more and more type 2s actually being prescribed an insulin pump, but she loved the idea of including the type 1 more in who they were trying to serve, even though it's a smaller market. And I loved that she had that perspective. That is such a huge win for the type 1 community, with an opportunity for awareness and just to feel like you got some credit on the retail shelves. It feels like a big, exciting win for us to be able to contribute in that way. And that conversation yesterday with the Target buyer was really enlightening, that she recognized that and she wanted to be a part of doing something about being able to serve the type 1 in a more specific way.
Yeah. Well, Laurel, you are doing some amazing things. Certainly a lot of people look up to you. Who do you look up to as a role model?
That's a good question. There's so many, because I really like a lot of people there and I get inspired by a lot of people, but I think who influences me the most now is my child, and he's such a great example. He is so excited about life. I mean, he just pops out of bed and he's ready to play or ready to work, or he's just excited and he loves everybody. And I just think that if we could all be a little bit more like him, a little more childlike, we could really have a much more positive world. So he really teaches me a lot about the person I want to be. If we're talking like a famous person, I've always said the one person in history I'd want to have like lunch with if I could would be Albert Einstein. He just blows my mind. And studying sort of his roots and where he came from, and how different he was as a child, and how just the way he looked at the world was different, and he used that power to really contribute forever to our world with some of the greatest scientific discoveries. And yeah, I'm really inspired by Albert Einstein's journey and would love to have lunch with him.
That's great. Now, I also want to ask you about why you decided to tackle this business. Why did you feel passionate enough to risk what's involved in becoming an entrepreneur to do this?
So an entrepreneur is I've kind of always been an entrepreneur. I started my first business when I was 12. I married an entrepreneur, and we have a couple very traditional businesses. My husband is a cattle rancher, a 5th generation cattle rancher, and then we have a construction company. And so we work really hard together, and we built some things on our own and have had some success. And then we had a long journey when we got married to have children, where I just always had in my mind I would get married and have lots of babies and be a mom. And I always had some passion for business and knew that I could be successful at whatever I did. I think my parents probably instilled that in me. But what I really wanted to be was a mom. But it was a long struggle for us. We were married 7 years before we got Heath, our son. And I really just dove into business with my husband. And we just worked side by side 24/7. And that was great. And it was a great foundation for us too. But then once Heath was born, I couldn't really take an infant out in freezing weather and feed the cows with my husband. But I still am like a creative person, and had kind of gotten to know that I did have a strength in business and working hard to build something and create something, and just kind of dove into how could I do this, how could I build a business and be a mom and still contribute to our household's bottom line. And so just kind of dove into online business and tried to start to learn that, and then just paired up with a couple other moms who kind of maybe were feeling the same way, that they where they were in their journey, they were ready to try and contribute or be creative in some way. And so a couple other entrepreneurs and I we built this business, and then I would say what really keeps us going is who we're serving and the feedback we get and the relationships we've built with this type 1 diabetic community, and mothers of type 1s, and it's just been such an honor, and it's been such a great learning opportunity for me. I feel like my child is healthier because of it, because I now have more awareness of what type 1 diabetes is, and if I can do something to help another mother know what those symptoms are, that, I just want to be a part of awareness and making a difference, and then helping these little kids play their hearts out even with their medical devices attached to them.
Laurel, what's your superpower?
That's a good question, because I think we all have like a little magic inside us. It's interesting in this journey with entrepreneurship and building this business, it's kind of takes a lot of confidence to keep going and to believe that you can. But I've kind of done a lot of thinking about what makes doors open for me, and why do people want to help me. And I think a true characteristic of mine is I'm just really trusting person with a trusting spirit, and I think that is a superpower. I think the world would tell you otherwise. Like, the world tells you that people are bad and people are gonna mistreat you, and that's true to an extent, but I really throughout my life have trusted pretty much everybody, and it's gotten me a long ways and opened a lot of doors for me, and it allows me to see the good in people in a situation, and then that gives me the confidence to take risks. So I think trust is my superpower.
That's great. Well, Laurel, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today. Before you go, tell us how people can learn more about Pocket Innerwear and get some for themselves or their friends with type 1 diabetes.
You bet. You can go to our website. It's www.pocketinnerwear.com. We would love to see you there. Feel free to reach out to me. My email is laurel@pocketinnerwear.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can find Pocket Innerwear on Facebook. We have a Pocket Innerwear Inc. Facebook page. We have a specific page for type 1 Pocket Innerwear, and it's called T1D Pocket Innerwear. We're on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, all those things. So just reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you and get your feedback, of course, and build a relationship. We want to just take you under our wings and figure out how to serve the type 1 community better. So we'd love to hear from you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today, Laurel. We wish you every success in helping people who have diabetes to live happier, easier, more convenient, and healthy lives.
Thank you so much, Devin. It was so great to connect with you. So thank you so much for having me.
All righty. Let's do some good.
Thank you for listening. This podcast was recorded via Google Hangouts on Air and is available at youtube.com/Devin Thorpe. Subscribe to this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes by searching for Your Mark on the World. Every weekday, Devin hosts a CEO, celebrity, entrepreneur, or other changemaker here on the Your Mark on the World show to inspire and prepare you to make your mark. Devin is a champion of social good, writing about, advocating for, and advising people who are doing good. He is a Forbes contributor who is a recognized thought leader in social entrepreneurship, impact investing, and crowdfunding. To book Devin as a speaker, visit devinthorpe.com. Learn more about Devin's work at yourmarkontheworld.com.